Do you want to be more involved in your school? Have you ever thought about doing art? We have a rich history, fantastic art options here at Heath. We will be both a place to belong and enrich your high school journey. We have choir, band, plays and musicals, theater classes, and color guard. Now, you may think, is it fun? Is it worth it? Why should I join? Well, I've talked to some students in the art, as well as the staff members who teach them. Let's have a look at what they have to say about what art they're in. How long have you been teaching theater?
Oh gosh, that's an interesting question. This is my 31st year as a teacher. I think I've been teaching theater here for at least 16 years.
How did your interest in teaching theater or teaching in general come about?
My interest in teaching in general came about from my high school English teacher, who was a doctor. She was PhD, and she was just phenomenal. And that's what made me want to be a teacher. And I was involved in theater in high school and really enjoyed it. I was involved in all the plays and musicals, but I accidentally became a theater teacher here because I became a librarian. And then one year the principal called right before school started and said, "Hey, you're going to be teaching theater." And I said, "Oh, okay." So it was kind of accidental, and at first I kind of resented it, but then I grew to love it. And I've been doing it ever since.
What are your influences and how have they shaped you to direct plays and produce them?
Definitely my high school. She was the choir director and also the director of plays and musicals, and she was a huge influence in my life. And she even recently posted on Facebook, she shared a letter that I had written her as a senior right before I graduated, telling her like how influential she was. But she could play almost any instrument, and she was really like a stern but also loving director, and so that's who I think about when I direct a show.
How many shows have you been in?
10.
What has been your favorite show or role to do?
I was in Seussical at Hullabaloo, and I played Maisie LeBerg.
What was your favorite part about it?
She was a very, different personality role than I usually play, and she was really fun. Hard.
Why did you start acting?
I've always liked the idea of, acting, and I just thought that it would be, more beneficial if I started at an early age.
What are the most positive effects you've seen in yourself or your life since starting acting?
I've met a lot of my best friends from theater, and yeah, I just really like acting.
How long have you been teaching choir?
This is my 17th year teaching choir.
How did your interest in teaching choir or teaching in general come about?
When I was young, I participated in different musical groups. I was in my church choir and my school choir. And when I was a teenager, I got a job at a church camp working as a counselor. Found that I really liked working with young people, and this was a way that I could combine both of those interests and skills.
How do you produce musicals differently than the typical director?
I allow the actors a lot more freedom than some other directors that I've worked with. I give them opportunities to come up with gestures and movement and inflection on their own, and trust them throughout that process.
What do you take the most pride in as teaching Heath's musical director?
The quality of our shows. For the size of our school, our shows are really top quality.
How long have you been in choir?
I've been in choir for almost 7 years.
Which choir are you in?
I am in the Heath Chamber Choir.
Why did you join choir?
I joined choir because when we were scheduling for our 6th grade year, I didn't want to take gym, so I just picked choir.
What are some positive effects you've seen in yourself or your life since joining?
Probably the friendships that I've gotten from musical theater and musicals and choir, and the team building. You get some pretty good friendships. So.
How long have you been in band?
I've been in band for 3 years now.
What instruments do you play?
Basically any percussion instrument, but I do marimba in the marching band.
Why did you join band?
Just for friends and more musical experience. I like the culture.
What are some positive effects that you've seen in yourself or your life since joining band?
It's definitely easier to communicate with other people, just from all the people in band you have to talk to. Just more overall music experience and technique, and just more friendship.
How long have you been doing color guard?
This is my first year.
Why did you join color guard?
I joined because I really love doing the arts, and I thought it would be a fun way to still like perform and do the arts while like doing like physical stuff as well.
What's some advice you would give to someone who would want to join?
You have to practice a lot at home. You can't just like show up and expect to just know it all, because it's a lot of weird things that you didn't know that like was possible for you to do.
What's the coolest thing you've learned to do with your flag?
Probably just like any toss at all. Because like, what do you mean I can throw it up in the air and then like catch it and not like hit myself in the head?
What's been the most positive effects in your life or yourself since joining?
It's really added like something for me to look forward to. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'll be like, oh, I have to go because I have to go to school because I have color guard stuff today. So it's helped my grades because I'm at school more, and it's helped me become closer with certain friends, and it's just fun.
Now that you've seen all the wonderful art options here we have at Heath, we hope that you consider joining one next year or in the future. Thank you.